He's Eric Dickerson, and he joins us in the herd. You shed the coat, huh? That's what you decided to do?
I like coming here casual.
What do you do if you're the Cowboys with Dak Prescott's contract?
That contract should have been done last year. It should have been done. I mean, I look at almost a swap. The Rams should be doing what the Cowboys are doing.
Right.
And the Cowboys should have signed Dak Prescott. I mean, you know, Dak Prescott is a leader of that football team. I mean, he really is. You know, it's not. Sometimes it's not about always, but it is about wins and losses. But it's about the way your team reacts to you. It's about how you carry yourself, how you play for your football team, especially being a Dallas Cowboy. You know, being a Dallas Cowboy, it takes on a different, you know, aura. But for Dak Prescott, he's been that guy for the Dallas Cowboys. I just think they should have did this a while ago.
Okay, but the problem is that twofold. One, if you want to give me the leadership, and I do think he's a very good leader.
Yeah.
Okay, but if this team seems to lack the leadership, they're not playing. And maybe I'm wrong. You tell me if I'm way wrong. They don't appear to be playing up to the level of their talent, and that is coaching.
I was going to say,
but it also is leadership, right?
Yeah, no, but not always. I mean, you know, first of all,
So here's what, and I'm sorry to interrupt because I'm going to give you completely the floor. But wait, so when they get into the playoffs and won a game last year in the playoffs, that was Dak, but not coaching. When they lose, it's not Dak, it's coach, right? I don't.
No,
aren't they equally responsible?
No,
no matter?
In a sense, both can be responsible because when you play in the national football, any professional sports, you know, some teams are pretty much matched up, especially good teams are matched pretty even. Then it comes to coaching. You know, if a quarterback or running back, you know, has a bad day, you know, and if he has the bad day, really he has the bad day, then sometimes you have to put it on the quarterback. If the quarterback's playing great, but the defense is playing bad, how you put that on the quarterback? If the running back turns the ball over 3 times, but the quarterback's having a good day, how you put that on the quarterback? So, you know, it's enough blame to go around for everyone, to be honest with you. You know, you just want it all to work together at one time. And, you know, this year for the Cowboys, it hasn't been like that.
Well, they play, for example, they play the Bears, they score in the opening drives, and they don't score after that. Some of that's on the quarterback. Now, he may have been banged up this past weekend, but there were a lot of missed throws. Like some of that's on the quarterback.
But you said the key word, banged up. And see, we don't know how banged up he really was. And, you know, that's like a running back out there with a bad hamstring. He's on the field, but is he the same running back out there? No, he's not. It's like a pitcher, you know, with a bad elbow, and he's trying to throw a fastball. You know, he's out there, but is he the same guy? No, he's not. And I'm sure when I saw Dak throw the football, because to me, he's a pretty accurate quarterback. I liked him when the first time he came out of college, and you know, I could tell he was struggling. I mean, and you have those days, and to me, that football game. If the Cowboys, to me, would have ran the football, really committed to let's say they ran Zeke 35 times. I'm going to use that number, 35 times, 35 times. I think they'd have won that game.
Okay, so what's the number, right? That's the big thing I think we all agree that the Cowboys want to sign Dak Prescott, you know, but the question is, like, what's the number? How do you find what the number is to sign him?
Okay, you look at what Jared Goff got, look at what Carson Wentz got, and that's the number. It's going to probably be, if it's $1 more, if it's $100 more, $500 more, it's got to be more. What did they get? $31 million, $32 million?
I think the biggest problem with the Goff deal is, are you going to compare it to a bad contract? Like, no one I know thinks like that was a good deal for the Rams.
No.
Right? So why are you going to copy a bad deal? That's like, that doesn't.
But okay, now
when you walk in to buy a house. And you have comps. You have 5 comps, right? You don't go like, yeah, that guy massively overpaid for a house.
One may be bad, but 4 may be good. That's
okay. But then there's you could franchise tag him and try and, you know, use the Kirk Cousins model, right? Like, hey, Kirk Cousins, $86 million over 3. That's much more to my liking. He too was a 4th-round draft pick, as was Dak Prescott. We do that type of deal.
What about you got Mahomes coming up? It could be $40 million for him, so it's got to be in there somewhere. I mean, you might not like the numbers. The numbers are what the numbers are. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, has Dak played? Really? Has any of these guys played up to $35 million? Let's be honest. I mean, seriously. I mean,
the problem is when you don't have that guy, right?
Yeah.
When you don't have that guy, it's a debilitating feeling, and It's really just hard to win, hard to be. Whereas when you have a legit franchise quarterback, you feel like you can always get to 8 or 9 wins, and then a little luck, a couple other pieces, coaching, and puts you to 10 or 11.
Well, let's look at Lamar Jackson. Let's take him. Now, people didn't think he'd be a franchise quarterback. I mean, when I talked to Ozzie Newsome about him, Ozzie thought he was that guy. He said it's going to take a while, but he said it's not a project. But now let's take him. So he's a franchise quarterback. So when his time comes, it's a different type of quarterback, yes. But you never thought he'd be that kind of guy. And that's like going back to, football is always changing. Like I go to Mahomes. Mahomes is a guy that possibly he could get $40 million. I mean, $200 million.
And shouldn't he?
I like him.
Yeah.
I like Deshaun Watson. I even like Deshaun Watson better. I mean, I just think he doesn't have he doesn't have everything to work with. The offensive line is not great there. I mean, he has the receivers, but, I just think he doesn't get the credit that Mahomes gets. He doesn't.
I think he gets – Deshaun Watson's pretty good.
He's not pretty –
The problem is he was hurt. Problem was he's hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, and they've had some absolute stinkers of performances, right?
But when they win – if you take him away from the Houston
no question.
Thank you. You think they're in the playoffs and they win the division? Absolutely not.
No, and I know that the Chiefs survived without Mahomes a little bit. But I don't think long term, like if he misses the season,
it would most definitely.
No, I mean he's magical. The things that he can do. Okay, what about?
And he's got Andy Reid.
What he does? What about the Eagles trying to win another game? Now they might not have Zach Ertz. they get Howard back as a running back.
Yeah.
What is your opinion of Carson Wentz after seeing what he did Sunday?
Man, I feel bad for Carson Wentz because Carson has no one. I mean, everyone's hurt. I mean, they say Ertz might not play. I mean, it's hard to go into a game not having your guys, your starters, the guys that you've used to, having run the routes, to running back in the backfield, the offensive line's beat up, and all the onus is on you. They look at him to play. He played a great game against the Cowboys. I mean, can he do it again? I feel like that they put a lot into that game. I think most everything. When I look at the Giants and the Eagles, that's a rivalry game that goes back even when I played. I mean, and if I'm the Giants, I'm like, where we going? You going home with us. I mean, I just feel like that the Giants going to do whatever it takes to win this football game.
Yeah, but doesn't last week show you that Wentz is better than Dak? Like, if you watch those two quarterbacks, you say, which one of these guys is a $30 million plus quarterback? Wouldn't you say that was Wentz? Wasn't that kind of obvious?
Dak had a bad shoulder. I go back to that. You can say what you want. When you have it's like being a sprinter with a bad hamstring. I mean, you can only run so fast.
It wasn't like he was throwing ground balls.
Yeah,
but still,
the thing is that he's playing through pain. And you know what? We don't know how much pain he really was in.
What was the problem in Chicago? What was the problem again? I guess New England is the weather.
All right, let's go back to Wentz. Everybody talk about.
What was the problem against the Jets?
A bad day. I mean, it was. But you know what, Doug? Everyone has them.
They just happen to be against all the good teams they played.
He plays for the Dallas Cowboys. He plays for the Cowboys, so it's a little bit different. We know when they came out, when they played the Redskins, he played the Giants and Miami. Oh my God!
I know, the 3 worst teams in the NFL.
So hey,
lots of guys. Those guys have gotten a lot of people paid.
Exactly.
A lot of people paid this year. Okay, speaking of the Rams, you're the all-time great Ram. You were critical, obviously, of the previous regime, and this regime went to a Super Bowl last year. Mm-hmm. And now here they are trying to figure out what they can fix. How do you fix the Rams a year removed from reaching a Super Bowl?
Well, I think it started with the offensive line. And I think people don't realize how important an offensive line is. I mean, some of us, I know a lot of media people don't. I know a lot of fans don't, because they don't know those guys. You just look at the big guys up front. They see the guys doing the touchdowns, they run the receivers running routes, catching the passes, the running back running for touchdowns. But none of that happens without the guys up front. And our offensive line was just not there anymore. I mean, we lost a lot of guys. We got a lot of injuries. It's not the same. I mean, our quarterback did not play well this year. We do not run the football. Let's just make it plain and simple. We are a passing football team. Running the football is not popular all the time. Running the football is like throwing it. It's an art to it. I mean, it really is. I mean, we ran the football when I was with the Rams, we ran the football from all kind of different formations, all different blocking schemes. If you don't know how to do it, you can't run it. When the Rams were successful, they would play action. I mean, and we ran the ball. I mean, we don't run the ball. So if you can't run the ball, you can't protect your quarterback. You can't run for you. You can't run the football. it's kind of disastrous.
Can they ever get Todd Gurley back to the level he was last year?
You know what? I don't think Todd was off at all. I mean, if matter of fact, when Jeff Fisher, that regime, the year that they fired Jeff, I kept saying it's nowhere to run. I kept telling him, oh man, I'm telling you not to say it's nowhere to run. It's nowhere. I'm looking at the same thing. Look, you're never going to be that guy you were in your first 2 years. Let's just know that right now. But Todd is still that guy, just like Zeke is still that guy. If you don't have anywhere to run, if you get hit in the backfield, if the schemes aren't good, you're not going to look good. If he goes, let's say, I go hypothetical. Let's say Todd went to Baltimore, the Baltimore Ravens, with Lamar Jackson and that offense and what they're doing. And all of a sudden he had a great year. People are like, oh, he's back. You know, he's back. He's back. He's never been anywhere. He was the same guy. You know, you just got different schemes. You have different schemes.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be the same guy.
You know what? People kill me. You know, y'all fall into this. He doesn't appear. You know, I mean, I'm a former running back,
yes.
So I see things different than the way other people see it.
Yes.
And it's almost like they get caught up on what other people say. I won't forget. And this has been going on for the last like 3 or 4 years. Oh, the running back is obsolete. We don't need to run. We can throw the football. Now all of a sudden, the running back is back. You know, the running game is it's never been anywhere.
There's no question.
Yeah.
Like, look, the best teams in the NFL
run the football. Run the football. But
right.
but for the last 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it was like you don't need to run the football. You can throw the football. No, that's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I think screen game is like a hybrid version of it. But you're right. Like,
it's like a pitch, basically.
Right.
It's still like a pitch.
The Ravens and the Niners and the Seahawks, right? I mean, the Seahawks are a great running team. That's why they've been successful. It also shortens the game.
And play defense.
Shortens the game for the defense. All right, last thing. Do you think Brady has enough to get to another Super Bowl?
Okay, Tom Brady, of course he does. And he got Bill Belichick. You know, man, you can't count that team out. You know, you just can't. Look, like anytime I say call Tom an old man,
yes.
like I said, the old ass man, he go play great that week. I mean, every time. I mean, you know, it's no way you can count them out. As long as you have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady together, and I'll say it again, together, they always have a shot.
He's Eric Dickerson. Check him out on Speak for Yourself. Of course, Fox Sports 1 NFL analyst and a Hall of Famer. Eric, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.